Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, March 2nd. Lisa, Scott, Dylan here on the one day after the big snow day.
Yeah.
Man, there was a lot of snow yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of snow, and it's everywhere. I mean, just driving in, looking on the side of the road, it's like, oh, these poor people had to shovel out. I've never been more thankful to live in an apartment. It's great. I mean, everything's done for me. But anyway.
You know what I feel for? The people who were parked on the streets, and then the plows just kind of went around them, and now it's like as tall as their cars.
See you in the spring. You're not leaving. It is a lot of snow everywhere. I mean, our parking lot, I slid down our parking lot, what do you call it? Mountain of snow.
The WDAY Mountain.
Yeah, did that a couple of times. They got better as the show went on.
Yeah.
That was fun, but they're everywhere. I mean, you just driving down 13th, driving down 45th, looking in parking lots. It's like, is there a store there or is there not? Like, it's snow is everywhere.
Great for King of the Mountain.
Yes. And if you're watching from Grand Forks, we are all jealous of you.
Nothing up there. Before, I have a couple questions for you too, but before we jump into that, I want to remind you can watch this anytime on your Facebook feed. Throughout the day, we go live between 8 and 9. You can also watch us on your InForum podcast. Go to inforum.com/InForum Minute, and also on our InForum YouTube channel. So we're everywhere. You can find this information. Are you okay? What's going on?
I just found out there's a zipper here. I didn't know there's anything inside. Continue on.
What I was going to ask you before we get into even today's forecast, because I know people are talking about, a foot of snow, spring flooding. Immediately people are worried, but they don't have to be, not yet.
No, this snow yesterday was very light and fluffy. When you were shoveling, you probably figured that out, or even driving through it. You had to drive through some of the drifts in parking lots or whatnot. It's very light, it's very fluffy, and because of that, its water content is super low. It's actually, if this would have been rain yesterday, the snow event we had yesterday, we would have picked up a half inch of rain. That's it. So what that means is our snow ratio is very high. We have a 1 inch of rain equals about 20 inches of snow. That was our rough ratio yesterday. We had about a foot of snow, roughly, give or take, throughout the metro. A couple reports of 9 to 10 inches, some 13 inches. Well, we'd say about a foot. But only a half inch of moisture. So really, a lot of snow, but it's the fluffy stuff. So it's not a lot of water equivalent in that snow to actually melt down. So when it does melt down in the spring, it's not going to do a whole lot to our flood outlook, at least this one storm. Now, if we continue to get bigger storms that are lighter, fluffier snow throughout March, then we'll have something to talk about. But we don't have, hopefully, another foot of snow in the forecast. We don't have that right now in the forecast. And usually, hopefully, that continues to be the trend, to not have feet of snow in the forecast.
Right. And we can hope.
Yes, exactly. This is not the
I
heart
don't
attack.
want a foot every time we have snow.
This is the light, fluffy snow, not the heart attack snow. So because of that, it's going to melt down to less water. So not a huge change to the flood outlook, really, at all. Because if you think about it, January and February, what snow did we have?
Not much.
This is like the first big snow since almost Christmas. Like we've had blizzards. Last week we had 2 blizzards, or a couple weeks ago, but both of those came with hardly any snow for the Fargo metro and areas. So this is the first big whopper, or whatever you want to call it, just dumped on us since December, when we had those 2 or 3 ones around Christmas, right before Christmas. So really, in the grand scheme of things, it was quiet January, quiet February. This is like the first bigger one. Flood outlook pretty much stays the same at this point. So a lot of talking about that, but it's important. So
A few flurries maybe today, but
yeah, we've seen a couple flakes here and there, but nothing even close to yesterday. Still digging out from what we saw yesterday, and hopefully streets continue to get better as the day goes on. But continue to watch that. Cooler today. Yeah, high temperatures in the teens.
It is cold.
Yeah. It's chilly out there. We're below 0 this morning, but not too bad.
Will we get a little warmer this weekend to melt some of it off?
Yep, warming up, and we don't even need to be at 32 degrees to melt snow at this time of year, because the peak noon of the solar noon, we call this, when the sun is highest in the sky. Right now, the sun's radiation is intense enough to actually melt snow without temperatures being at the freezing mark. So today we'll melt a little bit of snow. Roads will be improving, although it's not even close. Our high temperatures are in the teens. But just how intense the sun is at this time of year, we'll do a little bit of melting. Not a lot, but we'll do some of it. You'll notice it. You'll notice, it's melting a little bit, but it's cold outside. It's because the sun's solar energy.
It's a good sign. Spring's just
It
around
is.
the corner.
It's just around the corner.
I love it.
Gotta hang in there.
Got to.
Thank you, Dylan.
Dylan, thanks. And of course, we know that the roads, like Dylan said, they're improving. They're still not perfect yet, though. So cruiser out. Just make sure that you're being patient, still being careful. Looked at the road maps this morning. Still a fair amount of snow covered or icy roads. So just give yourself extra time. It's also impacting garbage collection. Yesterday, there was so much snow, the garbage trucks couldn't get trash cans.
That's funny. Yeah, we had some video showing. I mean, well, it just kept falling and falling. The roads were getting. I'd leave my car here. I'd get a ride home because I couldn't make it through. So, yeah, there was a large section, and hopefully you still have time if you're listening to us right now to get your trash bins out. But it was 39th Street West to Veterans Boulevard, and then a big section, 32nd Avenue South to 40th Avenue South. They just stopped with the sanitation crews doing any pickup. They're like, it's not going to happen. So they're going to try to go back out again today and pick up the trash.
Yeah.
And remember, if you want to, stay up to date on whether it's the, road conditions and delays and closures and all that good stuff, it's better today. But you can get that on our Storm Tracker weather app. Of course, real-time weather updates as well. Just so crucial, especially, after a storm like that. You're like, that's what you had in your hand all day long. So if you don't have that downloaded yet, we have more chances for snow in the next 10 days. So make sure you have that. You can find it in your, app store, no matter what kind of phone you have.
It's free, so take advantage of it. All right now we are working to learn more about a fatal train accident that led to the death of a teenager from White Earth, North Dakota. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says it happened just before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon at a railroad crossing on 66th Street Northwest near White Earth. An SUV was driving, had a 14-year-old boy. He was driving the SUV, failed to stop at an intersection, ended up getting hit by a train. The boy was pronounced dead at the scene. He was the only person that was inside the vehicle at the time. The State Patrol says the roads were dry at the time of the crash. Sky was clear, so it doesn't sound like weather was a factor in this, but it is still under investigation this morning.
And we know more details this morning about a woman who was arrested in Jamestown, accused of shooting a man in the arm. That man actually had to go to the hospital. We know now that 64-year-old Terrell Getz was arrested after that man called police and said he was shot right around 5:30 yesterday morning. He was taken to the hospital. Of course, we've been talking about the snow. Actually, it was quite an effort just to get him to the hospital. They had to get some help from city maintenance crews, snow removal equipment just to get him there. Right now, Getz is facing a felony charge for reckless endangerment, but we're hearing from police that additional charges could also be filed.
All right now a Grand Forks man is making good on his promise to try and unseat the sitting city council president. It all comes after that Fufeng controversy. Kevin Wilson wants to run for the Ward 6 seat currently held by Dana Sandy. And he's already got the go-ahead from the North Dakota Secretary of State to do so. He is now circulating a petition. Wilson will need to collect signatures from at least 25% of the voting population there. The effort comes as some people in Ward 6 have expressed frustration with the city council after they sought to bring the China-backed Fufeng plant to the city. It was a long, ongoing saga that we covered for quite some time. Dana Sandy has served Ward 6 for 13 years. According to the North Dakota Secretary of State office, there has not been a recall election in Grand Forks since 2000. So we're going to continue to follow what exactly happens with this whole thing.
It's a good day to grab a book in a comfy spot, maybe just stay inside, stay warm, and read a book, whether it's to yourself or to your kiddos. It is Read Across America Day. And if you were watching First News this morning, Lydia read a little bit to us from a book that she reads to her son as well, so that was fun. Of course, it's also, some people know it as Dr. Seuss Day. Today is also Dr. Seuss's birthday, but the day is really all about the joys of reading, encouraging our kids to pick up the habit of reading. And of course, a lot of schools do events celebrating this Read Across America Day, and a lot of times they bring in special guest readers. And so it's a fun day, great day to pick up a book.
That's for sure. All right, national level today, significant financial relief is on the way for millions of Americans battling diabetes. Drugmaker Eli Lilly has slashed some insulin prices, listed up to 70% off of what they previously were. It caps out-of-pocket costs at just $35 compared to what for some could have been hundreds of dollars a month previously. We talked a lot about this morning. President Biden kind of spoke on it as well. So this is a big deal for a lot of Americans.
Big deal, for sure. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we're kicking off 3 days of, I love this, like girls' high school sports as well. I talked yesterday a little bit about girls' hockey. Well, I forgot about it, and I'm a Class B girl, so I forgot about Class B girls' basketball is happening as well, and we got you covered. So not one, but 2 girls' state sports championships over the next 3 days. You can watch, like I said, Class B girls basketball, state hockey on WDAY and WDAY Extra, starting with girls Class B basketball. That's going to start today at 1 with the quarterfinal games. The last one will start at 8:15 tonight. Then tomorrow, semifinals will take place at 6:30 and 8:15. And on Saturday, we'll have the third place game starting at 6 with the championship game starting at 8:15. This is posted online too if you're like
Yeah.
not.
If you can't keep it all in your brain, it's all online. Over on WDAY Extra, we'll have girls Sid hockey coverage starting at noon today, with the last game being played at 7:45 tonight. Semifinals games will be played at 5:30, 7:45 tomorrow night on the same channel, that being WDAY Extra. Championship will air here on WDAY at 3 o'clock ahead of those girls basketball games that Lisa talked about. And of course, all this can be streamed online as well, which is a great option.
Just go to InForum.com and you can go down to the sports section and you can kind of see the all of the times for the sports and what games will be online and all that good stuff. So, and of course, Dom Izzo will be talking about all of that as well. Dom's hot mic from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra and also on InForum.com. So right now, great time to get that InForum.com subscription. If you don't have it, first 3 months, just 99 cents a month. It's an all-access pass to InForum.com. Just go to InForum.com/subscribe to get that deal.
And remember, we have you covered all day long, starting again at 11 o'clock this morning with our newscast for your latest weather headlines, local news, national headlines as well. 11, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. And then we return tomorrow morning with first news from 5 to 7 in the morning.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Stay warm.